This is Marvel Legends 2-pack 6-inch figures. The Shield leaders with Iron Man and Maria Hill, and the uh, repaint of these figures, the Shield Super Spies with the Stealth Armor Iron Man and Sharon Carter, right there, also a Shield agent. Uh, these are probably, in my opinion, uh, the most sought after, perhaps the most difficult to find 2-pack figures from the Marvel Legends line that you can, very difficult to find them on retail. Um, I was very fortunate enough to get them on retail, and if you are hunting down these figures, you'll probably, you know, the chances are very likely you'll get them at a hobby shop, or maybe just get them online. If you're lucky enough to get it on retail, it's probably hidden behind the back of the shelves or something, because these are figures are very hard to find, and they're considerably cheaper compared to the the 4-inch figures that Hasbro came up. Now, another thing I wanted to say was probably why these are so in demand is because I don't think Hasbro has made a lot of these figures for mass consumption, and I'm under the impression that they are produced in limited amount, because the 6-inch figures are not really what they're not Hasbro's bread and butter. As everybody knows, Hasbro is so used to the 4-inch figures that they're not really too keen on producing the 6-inch figures, as we've seen. In 2010, we've seen reports that the Iron Man, Spider-Man figures are going to be in 4-inch figures, and you know, I can't blame them, because the mold for the 6-inch figures, they're not really made by Hasbro. They've been inherited from Toy Biz, and there are a lot of joints in some of these figures that are really annoying, particularly the hip joints. But some of the joints, some of the joints that are present in these figures have been migrated in a lot of the 4-inch figures. So there's a little there's a little bit of Toy Biz-ness in some of the new Marvel 4-inch figures. Well, a lot of the annoying bits about Toy Biz figures have been removed. But nevertheless, Hasbro still continues to impress the fans and come up with these extraordinarily amazing 6-inch figures, albeit not as risque or avant-garde in design and detail as with the Toy Biz figures. They do have better quality. I think the designs are safer. They're not as flamboyant as the Toy Biz figures, but they do serve their purpose well enough. Um, but you know, just to wrap up this discussion on 6-inch versus 4-inch, Hasbro's talents are really showcased in the 4-inch figures, which is their bread and butter. They've gotten used to that with the Star Wars and GI Joe lines, and they've sort of trying to migrate that to the Marvel line. I hope they don't do that with Transformers, but with the Marvel line, the new lines coming up are all going to be in 4-inch, and you can really see the talent of Hasbro's designers with the 4-inch figures. Well, they really suffer a lot in design, and they really struggle, I think, with the 6-inch figures. So I can totally understand why they're not this figure keeps falling. I apologize, but I can understand why they're not really too keen on producing these figures, because they're not really the best of molds. And it's very difficult to change a mold which you just inherited. Okay, so enough about that, enough of my rambling. Let's get on with these figures. The first wave, at least for 2009, gave us the Shield leaders, Iron Man and Maria Hill. The two other 2-packs were the Nick Fury and Red Ninja, together with the Skrull and Kree. While the succeeding wave was a repaint wave with the Stealth Armor Iron Man and Sharon Carter, with a repaint of the Nick Fury and Red Ninja, Hand Ninja, as well as a 3rd pack, which was the Fantastic 4-pack of the Torch and the Invisible Woman. Anyway, let me show you the packaging of these figures. As you can see, they both have comic book art in them. Each one is different to showcase each of the different figures. And both come with the same accessories. There are two open hands for the Iron Man figures, the same Tony Stark head. For the Shield agents, they both have pistols, two pistols each. One is being held by Sharon Carter. And essentially, the Shield figures are the same. It's just that on the repaint wave, it's the Sharon Carter head and the Maria Hill head here, while on the previous wave, it's the Maria Hill head on the body and the Sharon Carter on the box. So essentially, you're just getting three figures. And one with different head in terms of paint and repaint. But these two are identical in detail every way except for the paint, obviously. So, well, in that case, you get two figures really, and they're really both repainted. With this one, the only legitimate repaint. Okay, enough of the technicalities. They're both very good. I mean, if you have to get a Marvel Legends 2-pack from any of these waves, let it be these two figures if you can still find them. If you have to get them online, please do not pay more than $30 for each of them. I think $30 is more than enough. I got each one for $30, so I think that was a more than decent price, considering the fact that 4-inch Marvel figures here in Manila are sold at $11 a piece. So that was pretty interesting. Okay, just a quick look at the back. Back art, you see them displayed there. Okay, and the bio. Okay, so let's put the two figures of the same mold together, like so. Okay, now the Shield agents, they're okay. They're a good sculpt. They got great head molds. They got great detail in webbing. The articulation on the hips are a little bit iffy on that, because some are tight in places where they should not be. But overall, the sculpt is very good. The only problem I have is really the balance. To balance these figures very well, because the feet are extraordinarily too big for the limbs, and the hands are just way too enormous for the female figure, and the hands and feet are, in my opinion, are just a little bit out of proportion, out of scale for the figures. But other than that, these are amazing figures. The weapons they have are just great, and I'm a big fan of the Maria Hill figure, Maria Hill character, and I'm just glad they came up with a figure for her. So, okay, let's put them a little bit here onto the side and focus on the Iron Man figures. Just show you there. In terms of paint job, these are just fantastic. I would have wished that the Iron Man figure had a little bit more gold painted here instead of just yellow. But the metallic red really works for me. He's got great articulation. Again, the hips are from Toy Biz. I'm not really a big fan of that. But everything else is just spot on. It is just magnificently done, and I'm really happy that they did a good job on this one, and very little blemishes. For the Stealth Armor Iron Man, it is just great and up close. The camera's not picking it up very well, but it is made up of a very metallic kind of blue and a darker kind of indigo. Both are metallic in shade, and it is just great to have a Stealth Armor Iron Man that's really very close to how it looked like in the comic book. So a Classics Iron Man with a Stealth Armor Iron Man is really, if you're a big Iron Man fan like I am, this is really a must-have for your collection. Both these sets, again, as I said, are very good. If you have to get any, these are the ones you want to look for in the Marvel Legends series, and I do hope Hasbro comes up with a lot more great 6-inch figures in the future, in the coming year. So there you have it. I hope this figure has been very helpful for you in deciding if these figures are worth it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.